Today, we're diving into the incredibly profound wisdom of the sixth patriarch's platform sutra. We're going to get to the bottom of a question that has puzzled people for ages. What is true wisdom, or prajna, and how do we stop just talking about it and actually start living it? You know that feeling when you've read all the books, you've listened to all the talks, you intellectually know what you should be doing, but deep down something's missing. You still feel kind of lost. Well, it turns out that exact feeling, that disconnect, is a problem that was addressed with amazing clarity over 1,000 years ago. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at what the sixth patriarch call the hunger of unfelt truths. Then, we'll uncover this incredible teaching about your own mind being as vast as space. We'll get really clear on the difference between just reciting wisdom and actually embodying it. Then we'll tackle the much misunderstood practice of no thought. And finally, we'll see how this all leads to finding enlightenment, not in some far-off place, but right here and right now. Okay, so let's start with the core of the problem. The sixth patriarch saw all these people around him who could talk a great game, they could quote scriptures, sound incredibly wise, but their lives weren't changing. He nailed this disconnect as the problem of knowing something without truly being it. And he used this just brilliant analogy to explain it. He said that reciting wisdom without putting it into practice is like talking about food all day long, but never taking a single bite. You can describe the most amazing feast in perfect detail, but you're still going to be starving. And here's the kicker. People would use the word prajna, or wisdom, all the time, but they completely failed to see it inside themselves, in their own true nature. And that gap between the words they spoke and their actual experience, it makes all that knowledge totally useless. It's like a ghost or a flash of lightning, there 1 second and gone the next. Okay, but here's where it gets really good. This is the great insight at the heart of the teaching. The solution isn't about going out there and finding something you don't have. It's about realizing what's been inside you the whole time. So the great secret is this. Bodhi prajna, or this awakened wisdom, isn't something you earn or achieve. It's not for a special few. It is your original nature. It's inherent in every single one of us. The only reason we don't feel it is because our minds are all cluttered up with delusions, kind of like clouds covering the sun. The sun is always there. Now, the fancy Sanskrit term for this is Maha Prajna Paramita, and the translation is just beautiful. The great wisdom to reach the other shore. It's like your own inner wisdom is this giant ship, and it's what carries you from the shore of confusion and suffering over to the shore of clarity and enlightenment. To help us really wrap our heads around this incredible potential we all have, the sixth patriarch uses this absolutely stunning metaphor. He says that the capacity of our own mind is like the vastness of empty space. It's boundless, it's open, and it can contain everything. Think about this mind space. What are its qualities? Well, it doesn't have any boundaries. It's not square or round, green or yellow. It exists beyond all of our usual labels. Good/evil, happy/sad. And just like the sky can hold the sun, the moon, the mountains, and all the rivers, our true nature holds all of reality without being limited or defined by any piece of it. And that brings us to what might be the most critical point of all, the huge difference between just talking the talk and actually walking the walk. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where true practice really begins. The text draws this incredibly stark contrast. On one hand, when you only recite wisdom, your words are empty. They're like a phantom, an illusion. They're like morning dew that just vanishes when the sun comes up. But on the other hand, when you practice what you preach, your mind and your mouth are in perfect sync. And in that harmony, you realize that your original nature is the awakened one. It is Buddha. Let's just pause on that for a second, because that is a huge deal. The whole point isn't to become some new, better person. It's just to line up what we do with what we know. It's to let that awakened nature that we already have finally come out and shine. Okay, so how? How do we actually do this? Well, the Patriarch gives us a method he calls no thought. But let me tell you, this is probably one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of spiritual practice. So let's clear up what it really is. Because when most of us hear a phrase like no thought, we immediately think it means we have to sit down, grit our teeth, and force our minds to go completely blank, right? To just stop thinking. Is that it? No. Absolutely not. In fact, the sixth patriarch gives a really strong warning against that exact idea. He says that just sitting there trying to force your mind into some empty state is a total trap. It's a dead end. He calls it a heterodox view that completely misses the entire point of the practice. So here's what no thought actually means. It's not about an absence of thinking. It means seeing everything, letting thoughts come and go, but having the mind remain unstained, unattached. You experience everything that life throws at you, but you don't get swept away by it. So what does this look like in practice, moment for moment? Well, you can think of it as a kind of three-step flow. First, you just observe whatever shows up with wisdom. Second, you practice not grasping. You don't cling to the stuff you like, and you don't push away the stuff you don't like. You just let it be. And third, you just allow everything to flow freely. Thoughts, feelings, whatever. Let them come and go without getting tangled up in them, like clouds just passing through that big open sky of your mind. And this all leads us to the beautiful final conclusion of this teaching. This entire practice isn't about preparing for some future event. It's not for some other place. It is for your life, right here, right now. The patriarch is so clear about this. The path to awakening is found right here, in the middle of this world, not by trying to escape it. All the challenges, all the joys, all the messiness of your daily life, that is the raw material for your practice. And he uses another one of his brilliant analogies to really hammer this point home. He says that trying to find enlightenment by rejecting the world is as ridiculous and futile as trying to find horns on a rabbit. It's absurd. You'll search forever because they just aren't there. So if the path isn't out there, where is it? The teaching is crystal clear. It's not some destination you arrive at down the road. The path is right action in this moment. It's how you live, how you speak, how you think right now. The way you handle yourself with awareness and kindness, that is the path. And so we're left with the patriarch's ultimate piercing question. And is a question he's posing directly to every single one of us. Everything you need is already inside you. Your mind has the capacity of space itself. Your wisdom is already there. So the real question is, why not, from within your own mind, right now, in this very instant, see your true original nature?